Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you are well. I am Dr. Tammy, success strategist, literacy educator, and the director of accreditation and certification, curriculum and instruction for the International Council of Registered Blockchain Professionals, also called ICOR BP. And today you are on the block. So, welcome to the block. Today, we're talking to some amazing experts in the field of blockchain, and we're going to hear a little bit about what they do and why we need blockchain, and what about a little education, why we need to learn more about it. So, that's what we're talking about today.
This blockchain continuing education program is brought to you by our major sponsors: HTML Coin, utility coin beyond the hype; Althash University, your online school in the fourth industrial revolution; Libra Codes, take control on your NFT creation; and Credence Hub, verified credentials, anytime, anywhere. We also would like to thank our partners.
So, hey, y'all, welcome to the block. So, if you have not shared this out or commented below, please say hello to us in the comments. Please, you can even do an emoji, tell us where you're joining from. And hey, Mike, how's it going? Make sure that you say hello to us. We are here today, and you just saw the video, right? And the video highlighted some of our sponsors. Hey, y'all. Two of our sponsors are here today. Representatives from two of our sponsors is here today, and we want to share a little bit more about who they are, what they do, and how you can learn more about what it is that community is about. So let me bring them on, and we're going to have them come in, introduce themselves, and we'll go from there. How about that? Hey, gentlemen, how are y'all doing?
Hey, Dr. Tammy, great to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for being here today. We
Thank
are
you.
excited to hear. Hey, Jodo, we're excited to hear
Yeah.
more
Happy to
about.
be here.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
We are excited to hear more about what you do and all those good things, because we know that y'all are just amazing at sponsoring our show and the things that we do in ICOR BP. And we thought it'd be nice to just highlight you, share a little bit about what you do in this space. And then, we'll talk about, blockchain technology and why we need it, and the education around it, like what you recommend, maybe some resources that you recommend, and how to connect with the communities that you serve and that you are in. So let's start with you, Jodo. If you could just tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, everybody again. So, Cheese from Bremen. I used as working as an IT technology and EU consultant. Actually, I'm the CTO of Althash blockchain, or HTML coin. So, at the moment, doing strategic plannings of the further developments out there. And as well, I'm giving courses at Althash University. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Vince, COO of HTML Coin, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Oh, thank you. Hey, everyone. My name is Vincent Hoffman, as you probably all know. I've been with HTML Coin for 4 years now, and I work across all the departments, and that is why I'm the Chief Operating Officer. And yeah, it's my passion to leverage on innovative technologies and human relations to create win-wins. Mm-hmm. And blockchain is something I'm very passionate about, because I believe it goes a long way in solving and mitigating some of the world's greatest problems. And not to ramble on too much, but I mean, the greatest problems in our world, 99% of them are because of greed. And blockchain goes a long way to mitigate and in many cases eliminate the exploitation our fellow humans exert on each other. And yeah, happy to talk about how blockchain does that as we go.
Sounds great. So, Vince, I must say, every time we have a conversation, you just open up a whole can. Like I
Yeah.
ask you to introduce yourself and you just open up a whole can. So now we have so much to talk about. So just in that one statement. But first, I want you all to just tell us a little bit, because one thing that I heard is when introduced himself, he mentioned both Althash and HTML. And so if you, either one of you, whoever wants to take this question, tell us about the two of those, because we have HTML coin and we have the Althash blockchain. And we'll talk about the other Althash like divisions as well. But those two things, like how are they connected? What's the difference? Like explain why there's some connection there in what you do.
Would you like to take that one, Joe?
I leave it to you.
Okay.
Right, he's the COO, right? So we'll give it to him.
Perfect.
So HTML coin and Althash, it's largely a branding distinction. HTML coin is, you could say, it's the gas that powers all the transactions on the Althash blockchain, but a lot of people still call it the HTML coin blockchain. But as we're a lot more than just a speculative asset, and we have a lot of different verticals that we work on. For example, Althash University, and this Althash business. We've got a lot of different lines of development, and we wanted to sort of not have everything associated with a coin or with a cryptocurrency, because we want to drive a lot of change and utility in the blockchain space. And we don't want people to get hung up on the word HTML coin or any sort of coin. So that's why we brought in the Althash aspect, and we renamed the blockchain, and we've got those different elements.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for explaining that. Because, I see you as the CEO of HTML Coin, and then Jodo is the CTO of Althash Blockchain. So I thought it'd be great to just make that clear for our audience so they know what is going on. So tell us a little bit about, so I guess we'll start with HTML Coin. So tell me more about it. What motivates people to get involved in HTML Coin?
Well, I guess that would vary from person to person, or from stakeholder to stakeholder. A lot of people in the crypto space, it's when you talk about the crypto space, it's still very speculative. A lot of people just jump into crypto and use it as some sort of a casino. And there's a lot of, how can I say it? Our species is, a lot of our species is driven by greed, about getting the most outcome from the least input. Some people will buy a crypto asset and then leave it and then go away, and that's perfectly fine. But for a lot of us, we got involved with HTML Coin so that we could add value with where we have our own speciality and sort of drive that blockchain adoption, whether it's in education, whether it's developing specific softwares to solve certain problems. So it really depends from person to person. We've all got our different skill sets, and we all try and add value where we can and drive that utility in so many different ways. But it really depends from person to person.
So I know you probably mentioned this, but just to reiterate, so what is the mission? What was it established to do? Like what was the main mission initially, or the purpose behind it initially?
The main purpose of HTML Coin from the beginning was to sort of drive the mass adoption of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. And as time has gone on, we are a smart contract public blockchain. There are quite a few now. One thing that makes us different, we never had an ICO like many others did. And so we leverage on the community in many ways, whether it's on their skills or to share our posts and drive exposure. But something we have learned over the years, and something that's become a very big part of what we do, is education. Something that we realize with the advent of the internet. I mean, if you look back to when it first came out in the 90s, there were a lot of people saying that the internet is just a fad. It's never going to work. There were a lot of businesses which actually shunned the internet, and they said, no, we're going to stay off the internet. And a lot of companies they chose not to adapt, and they suffered because of it. So something that's become very important to us is the education side of things, not just because, well, with education, it's about understanding the tools that you have at your fingertips so that you can use them to optimize your business, your life, and to also mitigate risks. So a big part of what we do is we've got our public smart contract blockchain, which third-party developers can build on. But we do put a lot of effort into educating people in how to use blockchain, and also to inspire people to understand that it can do a whole lot more. It's worth a whole lot more than being a speculative asset. It can solve problems in every industry across the world, wherever there's a need, wherever there's an element of trust that's needed, wherever we need to authenticate data. So, I mean, we're also developing various blockchain products which solve problems, but education has become a very core part of what we do, so that we can teach people how to utilize what's freely available at their fingertips, so that they can actually drive that positive change that we so desperately need. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And so we're going to take a pause, but I want to talk about that education piece and the technology itself. So let's take a pause, and then we'll come back. So that's a great segue, but I want to talk about the education piece. So Vince, so you've talked about this idea of greed and exploitation, and then how education is the mission of HTML Coin, and that is what we want to talk about really today. But before we get there, I want to go to Jodo just for a second, or two or three. You can have as much time as you need. But I want to talk about the Althash blockchain, the actual technology, because you deal with the technology. So what do you want to share about the Althash blockchain?
Yeah, maybe let's say it in global ways, there is no the best blockchain. But in those means, we sit on a very effective one. As you've heard about the development, we are really open for developers to stop by and start their projects up on our blockchain. We have already had really first approaches worldwide, as far as I think, like the birth certificate. Many others, early adoptions and early implementations here, and we can have low hurdles because of the low gas price, its speed, a block time of a minute or even lower, and so it's really cool to develop stuff. And another big pro is it's pretty compatible because we're using the HVM, which is one compatible to an EVM, Ethereum virtual machine, which is running on many other blockchains. So it's even cool to have good developments here at us, and it's compatible, even if it would want to be rolled out in a different space to other implementations of EVMs. So this leads again to the educational project and process.
Okay, so why do we need blockchain? Why do we need blockchain?
And why do we need blockchain? Let's say blockchain is a tool. blockchain is a new concept and means of documentation certification in a different point of view, because it's trustless in many ways. It's really far distributed. It's running worldwide. So there is no one server you can stop. It's in our case a peer-to-peer concept, which is very easy for each user to set up nodes with their full qualified wallets. So wherever you are, you can fire up a node, hardening the HTML coin Althash blockchain, and have a trustless environment to even work on a local network, which opts out all talks you can have to nodes that must have an internet communication path. So it's possible to directly talk to a node, which makes it much more secure in means of what you can do via the internet.
Vince, you have anything to add?
Yeah. So just to reiterate, the question was, why do we need blockchain?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try not to ramble on too much, but yeah, I could for a while on this question.
Your top reasons.
Top reason. Look, I'll just give one simple use case. If we look at how voting works in anywhere around the world, it's still very analog and full of weak points. I mean, it's still pen to paper, and then there's people collecting the ballots, transporting to someone else who's got to now count the ballots. So not only do we have people, humans, at so many different points who can make mistakes, but they're also corruptible. And the whole voting process, I mean, let's look at the pain points of voting. Usually there's often a low voter turnout, and that is because it is sometimes painful to go and vote and takes time, and people don't trust the system. And it's understandable that people wouldn't. However, if you can bring blockchain into the equation, it solves all the pain points. And not only would it become streamlined and fast and deliver trust, but you would ultimately get a higher voter turnout, thus greater cohesion. Once the results come out, people would accept the results. But again, this is why education is so important, so people can understand that this is a trustable system. But, you know, this is a very push and pull scenario, because the governments, I'm not saying all governments, but, you know, if they're bringing blockchain into the equation, there are political parties which like to sort of cheat and do things their own way. So if they bring blockchain into the picture and they do it properly, they won't be able to do that anymore. So the technology it's past the point of, past the tipping point of mass adoption. It's coming, but not as quickly as it could.
Right. Exactly. So what I'm hearing is thank you for giving the use case of what Jodo said, about this idea that it's tamper proof and the trust element. So thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining us. If you're joining us right now, make sure that you comment below. Tell us who you are and where you're joining from, if you have not done so already. If you have a question, please feel free to post that below for our guests. They would love to answer it, whether it's live or on the replay. So you have that opportunity right now to do that. Doc Vince will definitely go through those questions and let us know which you and flash those up. So we'll make sure we address those that we can during this broadcast. So listen. So we've talked about a great use case in voting and looking at that, and we know why we need blockchain. But what I also heard, and what I heard in what you were saying, were terms like smart contract, peer-to-peer, EBM. I don't even know if I'm saying the right letters. So listen, wallets. We heard terms like that. So that is when we need to get into the education, because there's a lot of things that you all are saying today that many may not know. And so I guess the follow-up to why we need blockchain is let's talk about that education piece. And I know Vince brought it up earlier in getting education, and that is one of the purposes of HTML Coin, is to allow create a space for others to learn more. So tell us, what is your take on the education available in this space? What are some resources that folks can tap into? Anything that you have that you can offer as far as learning more, because we're just giving a teaser today. So where can we go? What can we read? What can we do? Anything that you can provide? Why do we need more education?
Well, it all comes from each person needs to want to take that next step. I mean, if you remember as a child, when I was at school, I was not very academic. My parents had to beg me to study. But, if you want to do something, then you will do it. You'll do it properly. So when we have students that come through to Althash University, and that's where we've been teaching blockchain for free for the last 3 years, it's not just about educating them, but it's also about inspiring them, helping them understand why this is important. It's about maximizing on the technologies that are available so that you can help yourself and those around you. And it's also so that you can mitigate risks. I mean, some people will jump into the crypto space without really knowing anything. Actually, I did that.
And sounds like a story, Vince.
Yeah, for today. But the more you educate yourself, the better you're equipped you are to come out on top. So it's just about educating and inspiring people to actually want to take that next step so that they can have a life with more abundance.
Yeah. So I hear two things. So one, education is good. So you can learn the terminology. You can learn how to navigate the space safely and to mitigate some of the things that Vince has mentioned today. But it's also for you to be what iCore BP is all about. iCore BP is about registered blockchain professionals and creating opportunities so that you can be competitive in this space and, tap into the industry as well. So I think that, beyond, learning the technology, then you can take it to the next level and actually enter the space and be prepared for the future, like the future of work. And that's kind of the buzzword right now. So definitely. So go ahead, Vince.
One little point I wanted to make. One of the many sort of ethos, if I can say, principles that are part of me now. Something I've learned is all of life's opportunities come from the people that you meet in business and in private. And something that's great about iCore BP is it gives you a great opportunity to network. And knowing that every opportunity comes from the relationships that you create and nurture, iCore BP is a great place to meet other industry professionals with which to collaborate and leverage off. So that's what makes it invaluable. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Look, and he's representing HTML Coin, and he's helping me out. Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for that assistance. So make sure you connect with me too. So on that certification. So Jodo, do you have anything to add? Education. Why do we need it? And what are some things people can do to get it?
Yeah, let's say the blockchain environment in general is pretty new to most people. If you read about in the internet, in the white papers, there's so many buzzwords, there's so many we solve all sayings there. And I think it's for a healthy growth of this brand new and really important sector, really of importance that people understand what is effective with blockchain and what not, and which let's say comes out are valuable outcomes, and what are just gains or just temporal hypes. So I do think education is really, really important in these means in general. Apart from the blockchain space itself is pretty filled with, let's say, questionable people. If you join messages, you will get a ping like, do you want to invest something from scammers and so on. And most of this stuff is pretty easy tellable, being a scam if you know a bit about blockchain, its skills and its environments. So most scammers are really following dumb or let's say not very smart approaches, fortunately at the moment still. So I would say like 99% of all these scammers can be told with a little bit of knowledge pretty fast. So even in these means, it's really important to join some courses at our Althash University, for example, just laying out the basic principle, what goes and what goes not.
Right. Yeah, so staying safe in this space. Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, so I wanted to touch on a point that Joe just mentioned. Blockchain, while it has so much potential and it's doing a lot of good already, something people do need to realize, obviously it's man-made, just like, and I know I say this a lot, consider a knife. You can use a knife to prepare your food, carve a beautiful sculpture, or you could stab your neighbor in the throat. So the point is, there are a lot of clever bastards out there which are using a beautiful technology, but in a malicious way to steal and scam from others. So this is where education is very important, so people can distinguish the difference between what's good and what's not and what's bad. And there was one other point I wanted to mention. Oh, and when it comes to education, we're not saying that everyone needs to get to such a high level of blockchain understanding. I'm not a coder, but one of the big reasons why this is so important, there are a lot of entrepreneurial minds out there. And once these guys understand how blockchain can be applied, I mean, any great entrepreneur is looking to solve a problem, looking to add value, looking to create those win-wins. And I'm telling you right now, if that's your thing, blockchain will blow your mind away. You just need to have an understanding of where blockchain can be applied in business. It can be applied in any business use case. But that's the point. You don't need to learn how to code blockchain. But once you understand how it works, then you will know, oh, okay, I need these skills. So I need to find these people. And then you build your team. But it starts off with just that basic understanding of blockchain. And then, yep, it's a snowball.
I agree. I so agree with that. I am the poster child for what he's talking about, because I have a basic understanding, but I've applied it to what I know I can do. And I'm a non-tech person in this tech world, which is why when Joe started talking, I was like, okay, wait, pause the tape, wait, time out. I need an explanation. And so, which is why I asked the question, about education, where can we go to learn more? Because you just have to find your niche and get into the space and know enough, one, so you don't get scammed or taken, and then two, so you can figure out how it fits into your industry and wherever you are. Because this is what I do. I interview. So what I do is my team is made up of all the experts in the field. I invite them on the block and we talk about it, and I learn every week. And you can come join me by joining us every week at the same time on the same channel. Doc Vince. All right. So before we go into and wrap up, I want to ask you all a question, because you said a lot. We've mentioned a lot about, encountering nefarious people in this space and scams, greed, exploitation, all of those things. So if you could share one tip to the audience, as they're learning and as they're, seeking education and, figuring out which program they want to enter, if they really want to get into this, what is one tip that you would provide out of the things that you said or you haven't said yet, to help people as they navigate this space? when we're talking about scamming and security and that sort of
Maybe
thing?
the most important ever is do your own research.
That's it. I love it. He's short and sweet. Do your own research. Definitely investigate, right? Look into things. Find out more. Don't take it as face value or what people say. Love it. Vince?
Yeah, so there's a saying, if something seems too good to be too good to be true, that's probably the case. So yeah, it's just about speaking to people, getting in the community, speaking to the team of whichever project that you're interested in. Yeah, and asking questions, speaking to other people in the community. Get involved. See if you can, how you can get involved in the project. And yeah, don't be shy. Mistakes are made. Yeah, I feel like I could ramble on with 1,000 tips, but yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah, I said one. Look, that's why I said just one. So, okay. So you mentioned community. So let's just talk about community for a second. So how can they join? Let's start with HTML. Where can they join the HTML community? Is there a community established? And can you share like where they can connect with the rest of the community to learn more, like not only about HTML, but what the community talks about?
So we do have social media accounts on all the main platforms, from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. The main place where the community chats, where I am and where the team are quite active, is on Telegram. So we are there. Here's the link. We'll put that in the description. But yeah, that's the main place where to chat and get to know the community and the team in Telegram.
Awesome. So, oh, I was going to flash it back up there, Doc Vince. I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to take a screenshot or whatever. So you can see the link scrolling across the bottom. Thank you, Doc Vince. So how about the Althash community?
Yeah, Althash community shares the same landing point for the major group. And the Althash University has its own section because of being an Althash University, where courses will be announced and questions from students are held and asked and answered. As well, we have some more like the LMS system, but the best landing point of the Althash University Telegram chat. You can see as a link. It's the Teamy is not correct on the scroller, but I think we have it in the chat, so I think it's cool there.
There it is. So it's on the bottom now. So there you go. Take
Perfect.
a screenshot.
Yeah. That's it. Maybe just one more about doing your own research. Feel free to enter both of the channels, ask your questions. There is no dumb questions. There only can be dumb answers. We're happy to help everybody, even from different realms, because we're even open to cooperations. So we think that one of the major importance of the Althash ecosystem is to be open and not a closed system, because development takes place cross-border. It takes place over the world, and the problems usually are not location independent, like standard issues can be found in many places. So it's cool to cooperate.
Love it. Thank you for adding that, which comes to my last question. So if you have anything else, now think about it, because I have my last question is do you have any final words, and how can we connect with you?
Constantly online on Telegram. You can find me in the groups mentioned.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. And it's scrolling across the bottom in case y'all are wondering which groups they're scrolling. Vince.
Yeah, same for me. I'm on Telegram and LinkedIn. A lot of people reach out to me there. And as what Joe said is absolutely key. It's cooperation and collaboration is key for us. I mean, we're not a rich project with tons of money to throw around. So we do look to work with people and find the win-wins where we can create partnerships, where we can work together and play off each other's strengths. So we encourage people to reach out to us and to see how we can work together. That's it. It's a very important part of what we do.
Awesome, awesome. So, Doug Vince, I saw some things scrolling that you flashed up there really quick. I think there was a book or something that was mentioned. If you could flash that up, another resource that we could share, that would be great. That would be great. Oh, there it is. All right. So, adopting blockchain and cryptocurrency, embracing digital future. You can definitely check that out. I believe I say that sarcastically. That's my friend Brandon. So you can definitely check that out. I actually have the book. So yes, that's who it's by. So Adopting Blockchain and Cryptocurrency by Fred Brandon. That's a great introduction to the blockchain space and cryptocurrency. And so Jodo, anything else? Anyone? Anything else for the good of the cause?
Excuse me?
Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. I know it takes time out of your day to join us. And we just wanted to kind of introduce you and just share a little bit about what you do and how people can connect with you. So I think we've accomplished that. If any of you want to reach out to iCore BP or learn more about iCore BP, you can definitely check out our social media, icorebp.org. And that's actually our handle on most social media platforms. So you can just put that in. You see the little logo up there. You can use that and type that in, and you should be able to find us quite easily and connect with us. You can also reach out to me there. Oops, let's see. I got to get it right. It's reversed. There's my handle. You can always reach out to me and I can connect you with the correct person if you have an issue finding it when you just do a search. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. And I am just going to bring the guests back on because I definitely want us to go out with everyone on the screen and allow the guests to say their farewells in their own way. Jodo.
Yeah, thank you very much again for being invited here. Hope many people will see this and join our channels and show up with questions, because question is that what brings us all further. Everybody.
Vince.
Thank you, Doc Tammy. Yeah, it was fantastic to be here. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, we look forward to meeting new people and new community members, whether they're new to the blockchain space or they're veterans to the blockchain space. Everyone is welcome, as long as they've got some decency, because we do get a lot of strange and dodgy people passing through the space. But yeah, ultimately everyone's welcome to come say hi.
Perfect. So definitely join their communities. Definitely check them out. I am in there. I eavesdrop and I learn things all the time. And so definitely join us in those groups and those communities. Doc Vince is going to flash them up one more time before we leave. And so we want you to definitely notice the logos and recognize. So when you see it, you'll know that you're in the right place. There we go. And before we leave, we are going to give a little gratitude toward our sponsors and our partners. We have some amazing partners that are with us, and you're going to probably see these guys again. They'll probably be back on a different topic and something else that we're talking about in the communities. So just know, on this show, we invite people based on the topics. And so we're trying to cover it all, at least give an introduction so that way you'll know where to direct your own research. So thank you all for joining us. And we're going to just one more little piece of information and give you a list of our sponsors and our partners, so that way you'll know some other people you can connect with in this space.
This blockchain continuing education program is brought to you by our major sponsors: HTML Coin, utility coin beyond the hype; Althash University, your online school in the fourth industrial revolution; Libra Codes, take control on your NFT creation; and Credence Hub, verified credentials, anytime, anywhere. We also would like to thank our partners.